What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Inside the Horseshoe. My name is Matt, and today we're talking about the Miami edge rusher, Gregory Rousseau. Should the Colts draft him if available at 21, or should we look at other edge rushers if that's where the Colts ultimately want to go with their first pick? But before we get into it, if you're new, please click the subscribe button. That would help out a lot. Also, click the bell. That way you're notified as soon as a video goes live. Also, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Let me know down below in the comments what you think about Gregory Rousseau and if you want him on the Colts. So let's get into Gregory Rousseau. He did not play his 2020 season. He took the year off and then he decided to go right to the draft because obviously with COVID and everything, a lot of players had the opportunity to opt out. We saw Jamar Chase do it. Some other players, I believe Penei Sewell did it. And now Gregory Rousseau is another guy that has done it. But if we look at his stats in 2019, it's pretty good. He had 34 solo tackles, which, is 150th, somewhere in that ballpark as far as all players in the nation. He had 15 and a half sacks that 2019 season, which was second in the league, which I believe number one that year, and I could be wrong, was Chase Young. I could be wrong. But 15 and a half sacks, 2 forced fumbles, no interceptions. I think that's pretty good. He had a fumble recovery too. He did not really play at all his 2018 season because he only had 5 tackles. And one of those are solo and one was assisted. So there you go. And I should mention 2019, if we're going to count the assisted, he had 54 total because 20 of those tackles were assisted and the 34 were solo. So to me, I like that a lot. He's an explosive player. If you watch his tape, he is somebody that can really excite you when it comes to getting to the quarterback and whoever has the ball. So that is something great. But Gregory Rousseau has been sliding on a lot of mock drafts. And you might be wondering, well, why? Those are really good numbers. Why would he slide? You would think he'd stay in that top 15 position. And the reason why is because if you go to his workouts and pro days, or the pro day he had, not the greatest. He didn't look as explosive and dynamic as you would expect. He had a little bit of a stiffness, I guess, too. So that's why he's dropping. But he had a 4.68 40-yard dash on his pro day. He is 6 foot 6.5 inches tall, which is good, I think, for an edge rusher, and he's 266 pounds. So with the weight and the size, he can be explosive. And if he goes to the NFL and he gets into the right system, that can be really, really terrifying for other teams. So for me, would I draft Gregory Rousseau? What's my thoughts on him? And I like a lot of what I see. I like the explosiveness that he can provide to you. What worries me is he's not looking as explosive as he did last year when we're getting to his pro days. Maybe it's just, look, he hasn't been able to do workouts like that in a while or, something like that. So that's why he didn't look as great. That could totally be the reason why. But it still is a little worrisome, especially when you have other guys that look really good. It does kind of worry me a little bit, but it could just be a bad day. You never know. But he is an explosive player. He's pretty quick. And like I said, he can get to the quarterback pretty easy. Having 15 and a half sacks on that team is quite impressive, I think. So for me, I like him a lot. He is somebody I would definitely take a swing at, especially if we trade back and still are in the first round. So let's say we trade to pick 27 or 28, right? Or even 29, and he's available at that point. I don't think it's a bad idea to take him because he does offer a lot for your defense because you already have DeForest Buckner. And I really think with guys like a Gregory Rousseau and some of the other top defensive linemen, you draft them, they're going to have a much easier time, I think, in Indianapolis than in a lot of situations because you have offensive lines that are going to try to stop DeForest Buckner. So if you have DeForest Buckner getting a lot of attention, you're going to have an easier opportunity to get to the quarterback. So now, not only does the offensive line have to focus on DeForest Buckner, they also have to focus on you, which is going to make your job and DeForest Buckner's job a lot easier. We've already seen what DeForest Buckner can do. He can literally just push an offensive lineman down. He's like, get out of my way. I'm going to the quarterback. So for me personally, I like him a lot. I think it would depend on who's available at 21 or wherever we end up picking. But if he's available and Jalen Phillips is off the board and like JC Horn is off the board and maybe Quiddy Pay, then yes, I would absolutely take Gregory Rousseau. But if we took him over Quiddy Pay, I wouldn't be too upset just because I see the potential with Gregory Rousseau. And I think he offers a lot of good things. And if you work on his game and whatnot and you get him back to that explosiveness, which I think we can get to, where he's dynamic and everything, the defensive line is going to be really good. And I think that's very important. Now, do I think the Colts have any interest in him? And I think the answer is yes. I think there is interest. I think with his pro day, the interest has gone down a little bit, but I think they like that he's dropping according to some mock drafts because that gives the Colts a really good opportunity to actually land him, even if they trade back a few spots. I think Chris Ballard, like I said, he loves adding to the trenches. That's his one thing. He says you win by the trenches. And I think he realizes Gregory Rousseau can add to your trenches and can make your defensive line a lot more difficult to contain. And it's going to give quarterbacks nightmares before they even play Indianapolis. And that's where we need to be. We need that Robert Mathis, Dwight Freeney. Maybe DeForest Buckner and Gregory Rousseau can be that. I think that's what the Colts want. I think that's what Chris Ballard wants. He wants something like that again because ultimately that's how a defense is just going to be next level, is what you can do when you try to apply pressure to the quarterback. We've seen in the past the Colts have, for some reason, ever since Robert Mathis and Dwight Freeney were gone, ever since those two were gone, the defense hasn't had the easiest time getting to the quarterback. We have been at times ranked pretty low in the NFL for quarterback pressures, and it got better last year, but I do think we need to get even better than what we were last year. We need to start getting back to top 10, top 5. So hopefully we can do that. So I do think Chris Ballard is intrigued by him, but like I said, it depends if he's available and who's available. So there's a couple things that are going to come into play there. Now, do I think the Colts will draft him? Oh boy, I do. I think if available, I think this is a guy that's on the top or near the top of their board as far as guys that they have to have on this team and want to go after. They have their list ranked by who we want the most to least. So I do think he is really high on that list. I don't know if he's number 1 on the list, but I do think he's really high. And if he's available at pick 21 or later, whenever we pick, I do think Indianapolis is going to go ahead, take a shot, and draft Gregory Rousseau. So thank you for watching. If you're new, please click the subscribe button. That would help out so much. Also, click the bell so you're notified when a video goes live, as well as when we go live on this channel. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and comment below. Let me know your thoughts. Do you like Gregory Rousseau? Let me know, please, and thank you. I know I haven't been as interactive in the comments. I've been pretty busy. However, that's going to change. I'm going to start responding a lot more in the comments rather than just liking and hearting. So thank you all for watching. I've been Matt, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.